Sid and Friends in the morning.
77 WABC.
Back here live on Radio Row in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Day 2 of 5 days of reporting from the RNC 2024. Sitting next to me, another guy I've gotten to know pretty well over the last couple of years. I like this guy a lot. First of all, I'm a radio guy. He's an excellent radio guy. West Coast radio guy. But you're pretty good. And then, of course, he ran for president as well. Wasn't treated fairly. And for governor. Wasn't treated fairly. We'll get to that. Right. But is a very smart man and a likable man, and that is my friend Larry Elder. Larry, good morning. How are you?
Say hello to the black face of white supremacy. Nice to be here, Sid. Whenever I'm on your show, I feel like I have to scream because you have such energy.
Yes. I do have a lot of energy. Yes.
Larry, how's everything going? I'm good, Sid.
That's because you folks in L.A. are so laid back.
Laid back. It's the weather.
And all the weed you guys smoke.
It's the weather and the politics.
You know, you almost did become governor when Newsom, when they started mentioning his name to replace Biden. I was like, please bring him on. He's got nice hair, but he's one of the worst governors ever. But when they had to recall Newsom, you were the guy that had the big lead.
Well, that's right. It was a two-part deal, Sid. The first part is, do you want this man recalled? And if the answer was yes, by 50% plus one, whoever got the most votes on the replacement side would have won. I had 3.5 million votes on the replacement side, 49% of all the votes, the same percentage that Schwarzenegger got in 2003. But Newsom got 7 million. I got outspent 10-1, and it turned the whole thing around. But there was a brief shining moment where they were scared to death that I might have replaced him, which would have changed everything.
I thought you were going to get it. I really did. And then, of course, you ended up running for president.
I did.
And you were in my studios on 3rd Avenue.
I was.
You were. And, in fact, I gave out the website a couple of times to get you some cash. And you were trying to get on stage for the debates, and they screwed you.
And I should have gotten on. I had to get 3 polls where I was at 1% or better, which I did. And I submitted them on time. I get a phone call from Ronna McDaniel, then the chairwoman of the GOP, and she said, well, you can't use one of the polls because it's affiliated with the Trump campaign. I said, which poll? She said, Rasmussen. I said, what does that have to do with me? She said, read the rules, and the rules stipulate, to be sure, that any poll affiliated with any campaign cannot be used by any other campaign. Then Rasmussen put out a tweet about an hour later and said, we're not affiliated with Trump. There's no reason why Larry Elder can't use us. We then submitted a 4th poll, Sid, and what did she say? You submitted it too late. Well, I didn't realize I needed to submit 4, so I only submitted the 3, which is what I was required to submit.
Interesting. So if Michael Whatley and my friend Laura Trump were in charge then like they are now, would you have been on stage?
I would not have gotten shafted. And I hired a lawyer. He's the former chair of the Federal Elections Commission. He said by failing to apply the criteria fairly to you, what the RNC did essentially was to give a 2-minute infomercial to the 8 candidates who got up there, which would have been worth about $100 million in airtime. So we filed a complaint with the FEC, and I said, if by 2 o'clock on the day of the debate I went to Milwaukee, you have not changed your mind, I'm going to file this complaint. So we did. It's being adjudicated right now, so we'll find out what happens.
Wow. This is Larry Elder.
I may come back with $100 million, in which case I'll never do your show again. Are you kidding me?
That's it? You're done?
I'm done. $100 million.
No, you're not about money.
I'll do it from my yacht. I'll do it from my boat.
That sounds good to me.
Right.
It sounds good to me. So but you've always, your relationship with Donald Trump is what?
It's great. And I never said one negative thing about him when I ran. I ran for a couple of reasons. I wanted to talk about the awful education K through 12 that kids are getting in the inner city. 13 public high schools, just to give you one example, said in Baltimore, 0% of the kids can do math at grade level. Yet the Democratic Party opposes school choice.
Did you say 0%?
0%.
Aye.
52 government schools in Chicago, 0% of the kids can do math at grade level. All these schools are located in the inner city. It is outrageous. Yet the party elites, whether it's Obama or Biden or Kamala Harris, send their own kids to private school, but they do not want to give you school choice. That's one of the reasons I ran. The other one was we spend money, both parties do, our side does, their side does. The only way to stop it is with an amendment to fix spending to a certain percentage of the GDP. And I was going to run to campaign for that. And those are pretty much the reasons that I ran. I also wanted to talk about the fact that the welfare state state has destroyed the family. 70% of black kids today enter the world without a father in the home married to the mother, up from 25% back in 65. What happened in 65? Lyndon Johnson launched a so-called war on poverty, a good Democrat, and since then, we've incentivized women to marry the government, incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. And that's why I ran.
I'm glad you said all that, because when I say my biggest issue with the black community, and let's be honest, okay, for a small percentage of people, there are way too many crimes committed in the black community. And I believe the reason is, well, there's a bunch of reasons, but the biggest reason is no dads.
Lack of fathers.
That's it.
In L.A., we have these smash and grabs where a bunch of kids run in and 30, 40 of them in one time and steal a bunch of stuff.
San Francisco, too, that has shut down Neiman Marcus.
Now, some of them have masks on, but a lot of them don't. And from what I can tell, a lot of these smash and grabs are done by black kids. Now, if that happened, if I were involved, I'd be more afraid of what my father would say to me than what my cops would say to me.
Fantastic.
They're afraid of neither. The cops are pulling back, the fathers are not there, and you have absolute chaos.
You know, there's a couple of guys I know in this party. Byron Donalds, a terrific guy out of Florida. Burgess Owens. Burgess, who, of course, was a great defensive back for the Jets. He's out in Utah.
Trouble. Here comes trouble, Terrence.
Yeah, there's Terrence. I like Terrence still.
He's the worst.
No, he's the best. Come on. But
ask between Terrence and Colin Kaepernick, which one would you pick?
I'm not a big Colin fan.
That's what I'm saying.
I was in New Orleans for that Super Bowl when Joe Flacco and the Ravens beat him. But I mentioned these other African-American men or black men because they're on my side. They're on my team, right? So when Larry Elder, he's a black man, folks, he comes out and he's critical of the community.
I never use the term African-American. It's a ridiculous term.
I know.
I'm from America. I was born in Los Angeles.
I know.
You know, my family's been here longer than most white people's families have. But it's ridiculous, African-American.
Well, thank you.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea. So here's a black guy, Larry Elder, sitting with me. And I know that other black people, they must be furious with you over the years. I could just imagine what they've called you. Is it as bad as I think, or maybe not that bad?
No, Sid, it's gotten better over the years. I remember when I first came on the air, every other black caller who called me an Uncle Tom or a sellout.
They did.
But little by little, I started talking about the family, talking about crime, started talking about the awful performance of schools. And little by little, they began to change their mind. I'll tell you when it happened. About a year on the air, I'm walking down the street. A couple of brothers are sitting on a fence smoking cigarettes. One of them says, "Larry Elder, come over here." I said, "Sid, well, if he had a gun, he's going to shoot me. He would have done it by now. I can't outrun the bullet. Might as well go over." So I went over. He goes, "Let me tell you something about you. I've been listening to you about 4 or 5 months now. At first, I hated your guts. But now I realize you ain't doing nothing but telling people to work hard and stop whining and making excuses. You know what you are? You like castor oil. You don't taste good going down, but it's good for you. Keep it up."
Oh, that's great.
That's when I
knew. Where was this, L.A.?
L.A., yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic.
That's when I knew I had turned the corner.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
So, but for me, it's scarier. I'll tell you why. I don't think Kamala Harris is a smart person. I think she's stupid.
Dumb as a box of rocks.
Well, thank you. I know she's gotten to this unbelievable level, but something tells me that Mayor Brown can probably tell me why. But if I say that, I run the risk of being called a racist.
And sexist.
There
you go.
Yeah, you're right, both.
A twofer, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel, and I'm not going to change my mind. So you agree with me, obviously.
I do. However, in the event that Biden is switched out for Kamala Harris, I think we would be ill-advised to be cocky about it. She's never lost a race when she's been on the ticket. She ran for DA in the Bay Area, won twice. She ran for AG in California, won twice. She ran for U.S. Senator, she won. She ran for president, but she dropped out before the first contest. She ran on the ballot with Joe Biden, and she won. She's never lost an election when she's been on the ballot. And a lot of black women love Kamala Harris, and they are the most loyal part of the Democratic base. And they will be livid if Biden is not the nominee and she is passed over.
No, she's got to be the one. I told you she's going to be the one. Right. But I don't think Biden's going to beg out. Was she a good AG in California for real?
I didn't pay that much attention to her record. I can't say that I know. All I know is that she made a joke out of prosecuting marijuana users, and then when she ran for president, joked about the fact that I think she said she smoked marijuana.
Right.
And her father, also my father's from Jamaica. We, marijuana, while throwing people in jail for dealing.
Yeah.
So she got called out by Tulsi Gabbard on that, and her campaign never recovered from that.
Never recovered.
Yeah.
So on the way out, and it's great to catch up with you. You're
on the way out.
guy.
On the way out doesn't mean I'm gone.
Yeah, you have to go home now.
I'm out of here.
No, I mean back to California. You have to leave.
On the way out. All right.
Yeah.
It's kind of very, very subtle. I saw that.
That's it. You're done. You got me
done.
and Terrence. You're good enough.
Right.
Tell me this. You like Trump. Saturday, I ask all my guests this week, and people specifically that like Trump and Trump likes them. Me personally, I had just gotten to Milwaukee, walked inside my hotel room,
right.
Put my bag down, put on Fox News, and I was in tears. Where was Larry Elder on Saturday? What did you think?
I was in the hotel. We had just checked in, and we went to a little gathering where there were other delegates from the California delegation. And then all of a sudden, somebody just cried out, watching television. We went over. We started watching. For a moment, I thought he had been killed.
Me too.
For one moment.
Me too.
You know, you're an NFL guy. The immaculate reception, the greatest catch.
Franco Harris against the Oakland Raiders.
This is the immaculate protection.
Oh, I like that.
And if you use it, I get 10%.
I like that.
Yes, plus credit.
Did you grow up in L.A.? Where'd you grow up?
Born and raised in L.A.
Oh, so are you a Ram fan, a Raider? What are you? A Charger fan?
I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. I lived in Cleveland for 17 years.
Oh, you did?
And I began adopting the Browns and the Indians, now Guardians.
Right.
And, of course, the...
so those were the Browns days with Brian Sipe.
The Cavaliers. Yeah.
Not the Jim Brown days.
Right.
You're too young.
Right. And who's the other quarterback with the...
Bernie Kosar.
Bernie Kosar.
He's a dear friend of mine.
Yeah.
He was on this show last week. He actually has liver failure and Parkinson's.
Wow.
It's a horrible story.
Yeah.
Lastly, Larry Elder, will you run for office again?
Speaking of Larry Elder's podcast, which you haven't mentioned, I do that once.
You know why? Because you never invite me on.
I do that once a week. Nobody's on. It's just me talking
and
doing some videos once a week. It's about 500,000 views. What was your question?
Is it really 500,000 views?
Yeah, in 1 week. 1 hour.
How
podcast.
long is this podcast?
It's hour-long podcast.
An hour long.
Once a week.
When does it come out? What day?
It comes out on Saturdays. 2 million views a month.
Well, I can see it. Larry,
just 4 shows.
You're a brilliant
Just
guy.
4 shows.
And you're funny.
And it's entertaining. Yes.
And it's very good. And you do just politics or a bunch of everything?
I don't wear pants when I'm doing the show. I think that accounts for a lot of the female viewers.
Oh,
yes.
God. Well, you are a very handsome man.
Thank you.
So will you run for politics again?
I've given at the office. I'm done. I ran for governor. I ran for president.
That's a shame. I think you'd be a great politician. I mean that sincerely. I'm not trying to be nice to you. You can't offer me anything.
There's a good chance.
You don't even have guests on your podcast.
Breaking news on your show, Sid. There's a good chance I'm going to go back to radio.
Is that right?
I've been off for almost 2 years. I was with Salem for a long time. Salem and I are in discussions, and there's a good chance that I may go back to radio sooner than later.
I love that, too. Now, would that be local or national?
National, please.
Oh, that's great.
I was in 300 markets. About a million and a half people heard me every day for 3 hours.
Look at you.
Yes.
Stay out of New York. I'll beat your ass, okay?
All right. Sounds good to me.
I really do enjoy you immensely. I think you're brilliant. You're funny. And I'm glad I got a chance to see you this week. That is the comical stylings of one Larry Elder.
I'm here all week. 2-drink minimum.
Try the meal.
Tip all the waitresses. All right.
We'll be back live from Milwaukee right after these words. Thank you, Larry.
Wish I could sing it to you. Oh, 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 mostly I'm silent. Silent.
America. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. By honoring your sacred vocation of nursing, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. At Grand Canyon University, our online RN to BSN, MSN, or DNP degree programs allow you to balance online coursework with local in-person clinical, practicum, or immersion hours. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.